Hey guys, Chris from The Hidden Reserve here, and today's video is one that I don't even know how to explain how it makes me feel. I'm going to try to stay calm throughout this, to say the least, but it's around the conversation of I cannot lose money in an IUL or an Index Universal Life policy. I hear this, I've been around this type of thinking before, and it is so far from the truth. Like, it's unbelievable. Like, you can absolutely lose money in an IUL policy, and I'm going to break down how you actually do lose money, or the scenarios where you do lose money, and just explain some of the misconceptions out there. So one of the most common marketing sales tactics around selling an IUL or marketing it is when the market goes up, you capture some of the upside of the market, and then when the market goes down, you don't lose any money. You have a 0% floor, and in some cases you might even have a 1% floor, but you have a floor essentially protecting you from the downside of the market. So if the market went up 10%, and I'm not going to get into the technicals of cap rates and participation rates, but let's say you got 8% of that 10% growth, you got some of the upside. But if the market, let's say the next year, went down 20% and you have a zero floor in place, you don't participate in any of that market loss. Okay? So that's true. You don't lose money due to market loss, but this is where the half truth comes in. You will still lose money in your IUL policy on a down year. Okay, and then I'm going to get into the weeds with that because it's so important to understand, especially if you're someone who is maybe thinking about getting an IUL, or you're in talks with someone already about an IUL, or if you even already have an IUL. And maybe this wasn't explained to you. I highly doubt that this was explained to you because it's just not talked about, and it's not a way, like, it's a turn off, quite frankly. It's like, what I'm about to share with you, it's like, if you just get kind of like an irk in you, I mean, that's the reality. And then from there, with that information, you can obviously decide, oh, I still want to do it or I don't. But anyway, that's the whole point, is like, there's a lot of facts that are just kind of left out, and I'm trying to clear that up here. So when the market goes down, yes, you don't lose money in the market loss, but what about the cost of insurance? What about other policy charges if you have riders attached to your policy? Like, what happens with these charges? Like, do they just like pause and go away on a down year? Like, nah, down year in the market, you're good. Like, there's like you don't have to pay that. It's like, no, you're going to have to pay those charges. Like, regardless if the market's up or down, you're going to have charges in the policy. So the way I look at it, it's like, yes, the zero floor, like, you don't lose money due to market loss. It's essentially stopping the bleeding, if you will, because it could be a lot worse if you're completely exposed to all of the volatility, or at least the downside volatility. Then yeah, it would be a lot worse, and the floor kind of stops the bleeding. But you're still losing money, and that's where I have a huge issue, is all the people out there are saying, or positioning IUL, Index Universal Life, like it's the best thing since sliced bread because you never lose money in it. It's like, no, you can lose money in it. So those are just some things to be aware of. And the other thing I want to just add on too is, this is kind of a second thing that I thought of. Didn't have this plan when I was making the video, but something that came to my mind too, another misconception, is around the retirement aspect of IUL. A lot of people love to say IUL is just like the holy grail of retirement vehicles. Well, first off, it's not a retirement vehicle at all. You can't even compare it to a 401k or an IRA. It's insurance. Like, it's apples and oranges. You can't compare the two. But another thing is, another common way of selling this product or marketing it is for retirement income. And this is where, tying into the first point of you will lose money, well, let's add in another layer. Let's say you're 68 years old. Let's pick the random age. And you're like, you know what? Let's start taking retirement income from this IUL. Cool. Well, guess what? What happens if the next year, and mind you, most most of the people who are planning to take retirement income from these IULs, they're not planning to pay the loans back. Okay, and that's typically how you go about getting tax-free retirement from like an IUL is you take a loan against the cash value, because loans, it's debt, it's debt, it's not taxable. Why would it be? So that's something to keep in mind, that most people are like, you know what, I was told most likely like, hey, I can just borrow against my policy, not pay the loans back. The policy is going to grow at a rate at which it's going to cover the loan costs, and it's just going to be this positive spread for my whole retirement, and I'm good. Well, that's not, you and I both know that's not how the market works. That's not reality. It's smoke and mirrors at best. It is smoke and mirrors. So what I want to talk about is going back to the you can lose money. Well, what happens when you take a loan out at 68 years old? Let's say you have $400,000 of cash value and you take out $80,000 of income. Well, that since you're taking a loan against it, that ain't free. You're going to have loan interest on the 80 grand, and that interest has to be paid to the insurance carrier. So on a down year, when your portfolio or your cash value didn't credit you anything, it didn't perform, you just got a zero. Well, now you're going to have cost of insurance. You're going to have, if you have riders on there, you're going to have rider charges, and you're going to have loan interest due for the loan you took for retirement income. And all of those charges, where are they coming out of? Your cash value. So your cash value is funding, assuming you have enough in there, which in this example you would, but your cash value is going to deplete to pay those charges. And guess what? I don't know, maybe I'm missing something, but that means you lost money in the IUL. And yeah, the market directly didn't lose you the money, but you lost money in these other areas. And that's really the last thing I wanted to talk about on this subject, because it really just gets my blood boiling, and it's just something I see all the time, and it's not fair to anyone, especially if you're considering, an IUL, or you're just simply not even that, you're just someone who's looking for help with your retirement. Like, you just have to know, like, these are some of the things that, may come about your way in the future. I hope not. And it's just that you have to be aware of it. You have to be aware of it. You have to ask questions. And again, it's like, you don't know what you don't know. Like, I didn't even know this in the beginning when I first became an agent. It took, some time in my own research, really, and questioning. Like, it just felt off. I'm like, there's just no way you can't lose money in this. And that was like the whole sales pitch, is like upside protection, or upside potential, downside protection. Greatest thing in the world. It's like, no, there's no way. And that's when I uncovered this truth, is like, oh yeah, you can lose money. So anyway, I hope this video just brought some clarity to you. I hope it just maybe, and I'm sorry, well, the truth hurts. So if you're someone who already has an IUL and you're learning this now, like, I really am sorry, because it's just sad, like, what people will do to make money. And also, I'll give the benefit of the doubt, like, a lot of people, like, I believe a lot of people are really trying to help people, and they didn't know what they didn't know. And that's where critical thinking is crucial. We should be asking hard questions, especially when we're dealing with people's money. But hope the video brought clarity. If it did, like the video and share it, and especially share it with other people. If you've got other people who are talking about IULs, or just maybe other friends or family, whoever that might have an IUL, share this video with them. It might be helpful to them. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Subscribe if you haven't, and I will catch you in the next video. God bless.